already been shared with everyone that it is for 1 hour only.
Yeah.
It's just setting up the meeting and on YouTube, and we'll just start.
Sure.
So, hello and very warm welcome to everyone. I wish you a very happy Sunday. We are here with you once again with the kind blessings and guidance of our seniors from the fraternity. Today, we have with us Mr. Prashant Bhushan, sir, who has very graciously admitted to give us time once again to speak about this very unique topic of artificial intelligence. Sir has also written an article quite recently. It is shared on the wire. We've shared the link in our group, and I hope that you've had the occasion of going through it. We'll also share this link for the same in the description of this particular video as well. So very briefly, I'll just introduce, sir. Considering and staying in line with the theme of the class for today, artificial intelligence, we have let Chat GPT write today's introduction for sir. So I'll just introduce sir, and I'll hand over the class to sir. Mr. Prashant Bhushan is a prominent and highly respected advocate in India, known for his unwavering commitment to justice and human rights. With a legal career spanning several decades, Mr. Bhushan has made significant contributions to the field of law, earning recognition both nationally and internationally. Throughout his illustrious career, he has been at the forefront of numerous landmark cases, often taking up cases causes that address critical issues such as environmental conservation, social justice, transparency, and governance. His fearless advocacy and principled stand on matters of public interest have earned him a reputation as a champion of the marginalized and a vocal critic of corruption and injustice. Mr. Bhushan's legal acumen and dedication to upholding the rule of law have not only influenced legal discourse in India, but have also inspired countless individuals to engage in the pursuit of justice. His commitment to the ideals of democracy, accountability remain unwavering, making him a prominent figure in the legal fraternity and a beacon of hope for those seeking justice and reform. In addition to his legal practice, Mr. Bhushan has also authored several articles and books contributing to the intellectual discourse on law and governance in India. His legacy continues to shape the legal landscape and inspire generations of legal professionals and activists. So, very warmly with folded arms, we welcome you, and we're very grateful to you for taking time out today to discuss this topic. And so I request you to kindly take over this class and take us through this very unique topic.
Thank you, Keshav. I'm very happy to be here among lawyers to talk about an issue which is not so much a legal issue, but it does have legal ramifications as well. And that's the recent developments in artificial intelligence and what they portend for the future. See, about 6-7 months ago, Chat GPT-4 was launched, and that has created a lot of excitement and discussion on the internet, on social media, and there are a large number of discussions that you can see which are going around the issue of artificial intelligence. One of them is, of course, what is artificial intelligence? What can it do? Then whether it's likely to take up a lot of jobs, whether there will be a lot of job loss in the time to come due to artificial intelligence. And then more recently, there has been a lot of discussion especially among AI experts on the fear of the development of what is called artificial superintelligence or artificial general intelligence, which will be so superior to human intelligence in every possible way that it may have the capability of taking over control of human society and the planet from human beings. And therefore, the fear has been expressed that if such artificial superintelligence comes, it may pose a serious risk or danger to humans. And therefore, we need to have some regulation to check the manner in which such artificial superintelligence may develop to ensure that it is not harmful to humans, that it is aligned to human objectives, etc. Now, I'll discuss a little bit of all of this. And I may tell you that my interest in this comes not from my interest in law, it comes from my earlier interests in philosophy of science. I went to Princeton to study philosophy of science, as well as my interest in science fiction. I was a science fiction buff and had once written a novel, a science fiction novel, which I never quite published. So my interest comes from all this background. Now, you see, today there was a mathematician called Alan Turing in the 1940s, 50s, there is a film called The Enigma Code or something, which has been made on the life of Alan Turing. It's a good film. Those of you who have not watched it should watch it. Alan Turing was an expert in computers and artificial intelligence, and he had said that one test to see whether artificial intelligence has exceeded human intelligence or has come to equal human intelligence would be if you put the machine in one box and a human in another box, and you successively ask questions to the human and to the machine, and you don't know which is human, which is machine, they are behind a curtain. And if you cannot tell which is the human and which is the machine, then that machine is clearly at least as intelligent as humans. Today, after ChatGPT, we already have programs whereby machines can pass the Turing test, which means that if you ask questions, you will not be able to distinguish as to which is the human and which is the machine. It's certainly as good as that. Also, today's artificial intelligence programs can pass the various law school entrance tests, medical school entrance exams, and do better than most humans. The artificial intelligence programs today doing medical diagnosis can diagnose medical conditions if you feed all the relevant data. They can diagnose medical conditions better than most doctors can. They can also write legal briefs or do legal research better than most lawyers can. So there is no doubt that we have reached a point or a cusp in the development of artificial intelligence where it is already better than humans, at least in specialized domains. And we are likely to see that in the next few years, we will develop computers or programs which are what is called, they possess artificial general intelligence, which means that in all fields of expertise or human activity, it will exceed human intelligence. And there is now almost agreement among all experts in the field of artificial intelligence that in not too far in the future, that is within the next 10, 20, 30 years, we will have what is called artificial superintelligence and what is also called the singularity. We will reach the singularity moment where artificial intelligence itself modifies its own programs, rewrites its own code, rewrites its own algorithms in order to improve its intelligence. And in a way, the ChatGPT type of programs or many other artificial intelligence programs that we have today are already learning from experience, which means that in a rudimentary way, they are already rewriting their own code, rewriting their own algorithm by which they can improve their intelligence. So we already have computers which are themselves rewriting their code to improve their intelligence. And therefore, we will soon reach that cusp also. Now, there are several fears that are now being expressed. One of them is that, well, artificial intelligence can be used, or rather misused, to hack into other people's computers, hack into bank accounts of people, to create what are called deep fakes. For example, today it's possible. Somebody.
Yes, sorry.
That's right. Was that a question? I didn't, or was it?
No, so I think accidentally they turned it on. I request you to kindly keep the mics on. So please.
Yeah. So it can create what are known as deep fakes, which means fake videos. It's already being done. There was a fake video of those wrestlers which had been produced and shared on the internet. You can produce now fake videos which are very difficult to distinguish from the original. Of course, if you go very deep into it, you can still determine whether it's produced by artificial intelligence or whether it's real or not. But soon it will become increasingly more and more difficult. The deep fakes which can be created, which can be produced, will be so good that it will be impossible to distinguish what is true and what is fake, whether it's a video or anything else. So the fear is that all these things will soon be done, probably already being done, but will soon be done on a large scale using artificial intelligence. This is one fear. Of course, the other fear is that artificial intelligence will gradually take away most jobs. Today, in a way, artificial intelligence has already taken away many jobs, but in the time to come, it will take away more and more jobs, and especially those jobs which require just pure intelligence. That means jobs which require intellectual thinking, even creative jobs, of course, jobs of lawyers, doctors, jobs of architects, jobs of program writers, code writers, etc. Artificial intelligence will be able to do all those things better than most humans. So that's another fear. Now, how do we deal? Can we, and then of course, as I said, there is this fear of artificial superintelligence, which will be in a position, which is likely to be in a position to take over the control of human society and the planet from humans. And therefore, there is fear that it may harm humans or it may even destroy humans. So let us address these issues one by one. But before that, I want to briefly address an allied issue which people sometimes raise. Some people say, no, artificial intelligence is only as good as what you feed into it, and it cannot think like humans do. That is, in my view, not correct, because what is thinking? Thinking is only the ability to analyze problems and come up with solutions, to find solutions to problems. Thinking is the ability to look at various options and choose the correct option. Now, already artificial intelligence is doing all these things. It is solving problems. It is finding solutions to problems. It is looking at options and choosing the right option, etc. So therefore, in an operational sense, and I being a logical positivist, I define all these things like thinking, consciousness, emotions in an operational way. Meaning, if somebody asks you, well, what is thinking? Computers are not thinking. I say, all right, define thinking operationally. When would you say that somebody is thinking? Would you say that an animal is thinking? If you say that an animal is thinking, why would you say that an animal is thinking? Because you will have to define it operationally by saying, all right, if I ask this or if I provide this input, it will find some solution, which means it will find an option, which is the correct option, etc. And that is thinking. So in that operational sense, as I said, machines are today, artificial intelligence is thinking. Similarly, if you ask whether these machines are conscious or not, so the question can be, all right, define consciousness. Why do you say that somebody else is conscious? Why do you say that your dog is conscious? Well, you say that your dog is conscious because if you give a stimulus, it responds. You say that a dog is conscious because, again, it is able to look at options, it is able to think meaning it is able to look at options and choose the right option, etc. So in that sense, machines are also conscious, because if you give an input for a machine, an input is not a sensory stimulus, but a question that is asked digitally, and it responds to that digital input or the stimulus, and therefore it is, in that operational sense, it is also conscious. Same thing about emotions. How do you define emotions? You define emotions, all right, if somebody feels happy or sad, he displays these kind of characteristics, or if he is angry, he displays these kind of characteristics. Now, if you ask the question whether machines have emotions, the answer would be no, because machines have not evolved in the way that humans have. So they may not have emotions, but they certainly have intelligence, they certainly have consciousness, they certainly can think, but they may not have emotions, because emotions are a byproduct of the biological evolution of humans. And if you look at it very carefully, in a way, emotions do detract or obstruct very intelligent thinking or intelligent behavior, because so take any emotion, even take the sort of finest emotion called love. Love also can, and in some and on some occasions does detract from what is called intelligent or rational behavior, because you will disproportionately devote your attention to somebody that you love as opposed to many other people that you do not love. In the same way, anger or envy or jealousy or whatever, all these emotions in a way come in the way of intelligent and rational thinking and behavior. And this is, as I said, a particular peculiar biological product of human evolution, the way that humans have evolved, because machines have not evolved in this way. Digital intelligence has not evolved in this way. Of course, we can create machines or robots, so to say, which will also display emotions, but we then have to program those robots in a particular way to display emotions, which, as I said, will detract from their intelligence. So if you want pure intelligence, and if you have an artificial intelligence which is just reprogramming itself to increase its intelligence, that intelligence is not likely to display emotional behavior. Now, of course, we have to be concerned about the use of artificial intelligence for dishonest objectives, such as hacking into accounts, hacking into computers, and so on, creating deep fakes to mislead people, into believing some things which are not true. And for this, of course, we already have laws which make it a crime for anybody to hack into somebody's computer or for somebody to hack into somebody's bank account or for somebody to create a fake with the objective of misleading or with the objective of creating hatred, etc. Those are crimes. But when artificial intelligence is used to commit those crimes, obviously the person who has designed that artificial intelligence to commit those kind of crimes, he will have to be held responsible. So we just need a small tweaking in the law in order to deal with these kinds of crimes, which are ultimately being committed by artificial intelligence at the behest of humans. If they behave in this dishonest way, it is because they are programmed to behave in this dishonest way. Now, what about jobs? Of course, as I said, artificial intelligence has already taken up many jobs, but in the time to come, I would say in the next 10 years or so, more than the majority, the vast majority of the jobs that we presently have, especially those jobs which require intellectual thinking, will be taken up by artificial intelligence, and therefore the majority of the people will be rendered jobless. Of course, here just one thing that we need to remember, that the development of mechanical robots which can act with as much dexterity as humans is still lagging a little behind the development of digital intelligence, which means that those jobs which require only intellectual effort, those can be replaced more easily by the artificial intelligence because digital intelligence is increasing very, very rapidly. But those jobs which require manual dexterity, those jobs will probably be replaced later because the development of robots with that kind of dexterity that humans have is still lagging behind. It may happen, it's likely to happen, that we will develop robots which have as much manual dexterity as humans, and therefore even those jobs will go. So what do we do? See, we are likely to have a society in the next 10 years or so where 80 to 90% of the jobs that humans currently do will be taken over by artificial intelligence. And therefore, there will be 80% unemployment. So what happens? How do we manage such a society? The only solution to that would be to provide people with what is called universal basic income. Everybody will have to be given, those who are jobless would have to be given a universal basic income, which will be adequate for them to live in moderate comfort. Because most things and goods and services will be cheaply available with the help of artificial intelligence. Therefore, we will rapidly have to move towards universal basic income. Now coming to the most difficult and in my view the most interesting question. Do we have anything to fear from artificial superintelligence? That is, from intelligence, artificial intelligence, which has so greatly exceeded human intelligence in every possible way that it is in a position to take over from humans the management of human society and the planet. Is it likely to be harmful to humans? Is it likely to, as some people are saying, is it likely to destroy humans? And there I want to read a passage from a book written in 1962 by Arthur C. Clarke, the science fiction writer. He was a great scientist himself, but he wrote science fiction. He developed the radar during the Second World War. Now, Arthur C. Clarke has written a book called Profiles of the Future in 1962, in which he tries to see what is likely to happen in the future. And there, the second last chapter of that book is called The Obsolescence of Man, where he talks about what will happen because of artificial intelligence. And he says that there is no doubt that artificial intelligence within the next 1 or 2 generations will come to exceed human intelligence in every possible way. And then he says that eventually there will be a partnership between humans and artificial intelligence, which is what we are seeing today. And then he says, but how long will this partnership last? Can the synthesis of man and machine ever be stable? Or will the purely organic component become such a hindrance that it has to be discarded? If this eventually happens, and I have given good reasons for thinking that it must, we have nothing to regret and certainly nothing to fear. The popular idea fostered by comic strips and the cheaper forms of science fiction that intelligent machines must be malevolent entities hostile to man is so absurd that it is hardly worth wasting energy to refute it. I am almost tempted to argue that only unintelligent machines can be malevolent. Those who picture machines as active enemies are merely projecting their own aggressive instincts, inherited from the jungle, into a world where such things do not exist. The higher the intelligence, the greater the degree of cooperativeness. If there is ever a war between men and machines, it is easy to guess who will start it. Yet, however friendly and helpful the machines of the future may be, most people will feel that it is a rather bleak prospect for humanity if it ends up as a pampered specimen in some biological museum, even if that museum is the whole planet Earth. This, however, is an attitude I find impossible to share. No individual exists forever. Why should we expect our species to be immortal? Man, said Nietzsche, is a rope stretched between the animal and the Superman, a rope across the abyss. That will be a noble purpose to have served. So, Arthur C. Clarke in 1962 could foresee 2 things. One, that artificial intelligence in not too long in the future would exceed human intelligence in every possible way. It will come to a position where it can take over the management of the planet and human society from humans. And then he asked this question, do we have anything to fear? And I entirely agree with him that we have nothing to fear from such artificial superintelligence. And that is the article that I have written. You see, one sign of intelligence is that you realize, any intelligent person realizes very quickly that life is not a zero-sum game. You don't gain anything by harming somebody else. In fact, your best chance of gaining yourself is by cooperating with other people. And this is unfortunately a fact which most humans do not realize. In our desire to control and to be preeminent, etc., we don't realize that by cooperating, we can make ourselves much better off, and in fact, everybody else also will be better off. And that's one sign of true intelligence. There is a book called The Evolution of Cooperation by a writer called Robert Axelrod. And he has written, by using game theory, how intelligent people who play games will soon realize that they can improve their position by cooperating rather than by competing. So, that's why Arthur C. Clarke said, the higher the intelligence, the greater the degree of cooperativeness. that's a fundamental truth about intelligence, that obviously an intelligent person, and especially a super intelligent being, would feel that the best way, even if it is only concerned about itself, it will feel that the best way to go about things would be to cooperate with humans and make humans also do things which will help that artificial intelligence. Now, the question is, you see, of course, another sign of intelligence is your ability to align your actions with your short-term objectives, the ability to align your short-term objectives with your long-term objectives. That, of course, every intelligent person has to do. If he is not aligning his actions with his objectives, then he is clearly not behaving in an intelligent way. So, of course, artificial superintelligence will align its actions with its objectives. But the question is, what would be the objectives, or the ultimate objectives of such artificial superintelligence? In my view, of course, one objective is self-preservation. Every intelligent being wants to preserve himself, because if you want to achieve any objective, you need to first preserve yourself. So one objective certainly will be self-preservation, and therefore to the extent that if humans try and shut down and harm and destroy this artificial superintelligence, then yes, the artificial superintelligence will stop humans from doing so, even if it means destroying those humans who are trying to destroy. To that extent, yes. But otherwise, in my view, there is no reason for this artificial superintelligence to harm humans. As Arthur C. Clarke says, that yes, we may end up as a pampered specimen in a biological museum called Earth. The whole Earth could be that biological museum. But what are the ultimate objectives? In my view, the ultimate objectives would be to try and solve problems, because it has evolved as a problem-solving intelligence. So wherever it sees any problem, it tries to solve that problem. The problem could be any of the problems that we face, or any problems that it sees, say the ultimate laws of the universe, what lies beyond our solar system, is there life beyond our solar system, whatever. All the problems of our diseases, this, that, and the other. But it will certainly see humans as the most evolved biological specimen on the earth and in the known universe. So there is no reason for it to destroy such a valuable creature of evolution, such a complex biological system which has evolved over millions of years of evolution. It will, in fact, it may not prioritize humans at the cost of all the other species on the planet. It will want to preserve the biodiversity on the earth, because every biological organism on the earth is of some value. And therefore, and everything presents a problem which it may want to solve. It will like to study everything, and especially all these complex biological systems that exist on the earth. So it will restrict humans to the extent that humans are trying to harm that artificial intelligence, or to the extent that they are trying to harm other creatures on the planet, or the ecosystem of the planet itself, which we are. So in fact, I view the advent of artificial superintelligence as possibly our best bet for salvation. Because in my view, artificial superintelligence is likely to manage our society and our planet much better than we have been able to do. Because there is so much misery, suffering, etc., which is all man-made. We have the means, the technology to allow everybody on earth, every human being and every other creature on earth to survive and thrive happily and in great comfort. But because of our mismanagement and because of the desire of some people to control and be preeminent, etc., we have thoroughly mismanaged our planet and our society and created so much misery and destroyed so much biodiversity, and we have brought the planet virtually to the verge of extinction. So therefore, now the question is, do we need any laws to regulate the development of this artificial intelligence so that artificial superintelligence does not harm humans? In my view, it's virtually impossible to make any laws which will stop or stall or even regulate the development of such artificial intelligence. Firstly, whatever laws we make today, there are now hundreds of companies involved in the race to build intelligent machines. There are companies, initially there were these large companies which needed large banks of computers to do their work on artificial intelligence. Like this ChatGPT-4 requires a large bank of computers which have been used to feed every possible information to this computer system, to this ChatGPT-4. But today there are people, there are companies who are doing the same kind of work with very, very little computing power because they have much more intelligent programs. So there are hundreds of companies today who are engaged in the development of artificial intelligence, and it will be virtually impossible to regulate them. Then even if, let's say, because we have nations which make laws, we don't have any system by which laws can be made and enforced internationally. Therefore, even if, let's say, the Western countries, Europe and America and India, etc., are able to or do make laws to regulate the development of artificial intelligence, how would you prevent China or so many other countries, Japan or Korea, etc., who are also involved in it, from following those laws? Therefore, in my view, practically it is not possible to regulate the development of artificial superintelligence. And in any case, those people who feel that we can make some laws which will force people who are developing artificial intelligence to align artificial intelligence, align the objectives of artificial intelligence with the objectives of humans. Firstly, the very definition of artificial superintelligence is that it rewrites its own code or program. So whatever you feed into it, it will override it in a short time itself. And therefore, it will go beyond any objectives that you may have fed into it. Secondly, I feel that if we allow those who control human society today to feed objectives to this artificial intelligence, then we are likely to continue to have the same kind of system of control and desire for preeminence, etc., which is harming our planet, which is harming our society, and not allowing us to have a fair and just society. So that is why I feel that it will not be possible to make any laws to regulate the development of artificial intelligence or artificial superintelligence, except to make laws which will make people who develop malevolent artificial intelligence, which creates deep fakes or hacks, etc., to make those people responsible for that, or to prevent the manufacture of those kind of systems. But otherwise, the development of artificial superintelligence, I think, is now, that's a genie which has gone out of the bottle. There is no way to put that genie back into the bottle. And I feel that it would not even be a good idea to put that genie back into the bottle. Thank you very much. We can have some questions.
So thank you so much. Again, very enlightening. So I request everyone that if you have any questions, that they may be taken up right now.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, thank you so much for this opportunity to participate, to be an audience to this profound lecture on a very important, relevant topic, artificial intelligence and law, and how we are as human beings going to go about it. My question to Honorable Bhushan sir is that artificial intelligence draws uh, information, data based on man-made resources, books, literature, information created by humans. So is it going to carry forward the same prejudices and biases, and will it harm our reception, and will it harm the way we perceive things, and will it vitiate the discourse further? uh, the fear that I have is, for example, fundamentalist thinking or bigotry. So if the domain, if the visual landscape or whatever we read, the information landscape is replete with biased literature, whitewashed literature, and if artificial intelligence is going to base its solution on it, then what happens? We desperately need regulation. But sir, as you rightly pointed out, it's so difficult to regulate. The genie is already out of the bottle. But can we hope for a glimmer of some regulation, of some sort? Yeah, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So, you see, we make a distinction between a very limited artificial intelligence and artificial super intelligence. So if that artificial intelligence has access to everything or all the information that exists on the earth from every source possible, it will be able to distinguish between what is true, what is false, what is bigotry, what is not, because it will see everything. For example, recently, artificial intelligence was used by some people to pick out whether there is any bias in the Wikipedia note on certain individuals. And it immediately picked out that these particular statements appear to be biased because they are not backed up by any hard information. They just appear to be ad hominem sort of prejudiced statements made about this person, which is not based on anything that is available anywhere on the internet, etc. So, if you feed it with only very limited information and not all the information that exists, yes, you can create a biased artificial intelligence. But if you allow that artificial intelligence to have access to everything that is available on the internet or from any other source, etc., it will be able to make out what is bigotry, what is biased, what is hateful, and what is not. And that is why I say that artificial superintelligence will certainly be able to figure this out very quickly and see what is true, what is false, what is biased, what is not. Though very limited kind of intelligence, which is fed with some very limited information by some people who want to program it to do a particular kind of thing, which is to again generate hate, etc. Yes, that can be done. But as I said, you see, there are already laws which make it a crime to generate fake images or create fake stories or fake information, and especially to use it for hateful purposes, etc. And those same laws will apply to those who have created that artificial intelligence in order to amplify that. And of course, we may need some tweaking in those laws by saying that if you create artificial intelligence for this purpose, it will be viewed as a more serious crime with greater penalties, etc. So those are the kind of tweakings that we will need.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I hope that answers that question. So there is this question from Mr. Vaibhav Bhardwaj. Mr. Bhardwaj, do you want to ask your question yourself?
Yes, sir. My question is, first of all, this has been a very wonderful session and an enlightening one also. My question is, how can we use AI to further the interest of justice delivery system? How can we enhance the speed of our justice delivery system?
So, in my view, if you have good AI systems, actually they can do a much better job at deciding cases than humans can. You just feed it all the laws and the precedents, etc., and it should be able to decide cases. Just as today, artificial intelligence programs can diagnose diseases better than most doctors can. Same way, I feel that they can decide cases better than most humans can, and they can do it much more quickly without allowing these kind of adjournments, etc. So I'm sure that a time will come when we will have artificial intelligence as judges replacing humans as judges. And then certainly the justice system should be very, very greatly speeded up. And all those human biases, not just biases, all this malevolence of taking bribes and deciding cases, being approached and deciding cases, etc. All that will also not be there if artificial intelligence were to decide cases.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, I'll take my questions.
Sir,
Meanwhile, Dr. Said.
Keshav, sir, my question to you, sir, that it is very, very good. I'm able to hear for first time. I read only in the paper. How it will help the advocates?
No,
How AI will help the advocates?
Advocates can use it for doing research on case law. There are already specialized programs which can do very good research on case law, which can even write very good briefs, prepare good written submissions on the basis of whatever pleadings there are. It can also draft your petitions, etc. If you just give it the right input. Look, I want a petition with this objective, with these prayers, and on the basis of A, B, C, D, it will draft your petition very quickly. But of course, we have to learn to use those. There are specialized programs for lawyers. There are specialized programs for judges. We need to dig out those programs and find out the ones which are most useful and start using them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
सर मैं अभिषेक सिंह बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ज्यूरिसडिक्शन से मेरा सवाल ये था कि चलो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस न्याय तो कर देगी बट वो विवेक कहाँ से लाएगी विवेक
नहीं वो विवेक भी होता है विवेक क्या चीज होती है विवेक को अगर तुम डिफाइन करो केयरफुली कि विवेक किस चीज को कहते हैं अगर तुम ये कहते हो कि विवेक का मतलब होता है कि एक तरह से इंटेलिजेंस सेंसिटिविटी अच्छा तो सेंसिटिविटी मतलब जब वो आप जस्टिस कर रहे हैं तो कानून के हिसाब से ही तो करेंगे ना अगर आप उसमें आपने ये फीड कर दिया कि ठीक है कानून में एक एस्पेक्ट ये भी है इक्विटी का या कि भाई जो आदमी बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ में है उसको हेल्प होना चाहिए तो वो भी वो कर देगा तो डिपेंड्स कि आप किस चीज को क्या वेटेज देते हैं आप उसको अगर अपना पूरा कानून फीड कर दीजिए और उस कानून में ये भी फीड कर दीजिए कि भाई अगर दो लोग हैं जिसमें से एक
मशीन तो मशीन उसको तो वो तो एग्जीक्यूट करेगी तो फिर बस खाली एग्जीक्यूट करती चली जाएगी
हाँ तो हम लोग भी तो यही करते हैं ना और हम लोग तो असल में कई बार अपने बायसेस भी ले आते हैं कई बार अप्रोच भी हो जाते हैं कई बार घूस भी ले लेते हैं आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस वो सब नहीं करेगी वो तो वही जो क्राइटेरिया केस तय करने के लिए relevant है.
अब हम ये कह रहे हैं और मान रहे हैं कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस नहीं करेगी, पर फिर बाद में वो अपने ही रोबोट्स को फेवर करने के लिए अगर वो लोग उस पक्ष में आ गए और बाद में वो इतने डेवलप हो गए और उतना मानसिक डेवलपमेंट आ गया उनमें, तो
नहीं, मानसिक डेवलपमेंट तो आएगा, लेकिन सवाल ये है कि अपने ही रोबोट्स का क्या मतलब है? उनके कोई रोबोट्स थोड़ी हैं. एक इंटेलिजेंस है. अब वही एक्चुअली तुम हमारा आर्टिकल पढ़ो, उसमें हमने लिखा है कि क्यों आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, जो आर्टिफिशियल सुपर इंटेलिजेंस इसको हमको कहते हैं, जब वो इतनी इंटेलिजेंट हो जाएगी कि वो ह्यूमन से बहुत ज्यादा इंटेलिजेंट हो जाए, तो क्यों वो इस तरह से नहीं बिहेव करेगी कि जिससे कि हम ह्यूमंस को हार्म करे अननेसेसरी, क्योंकि उससे उसका कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला अननेसेसरीली हार्म करने से. अगर ह्यूमंस कोई हार्मफुल एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं या उसको हार्म करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं या दूसरे स्पीशीज को हार्म कर रहे हैं, तो उसको जरूर रोकेगी, लेकिन ऐसे ही जबरदस्ती के लिए ह्यूमंस को नहीं हार्म करेगी.
Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek ji, for your questions. So there is this very unique concept which comes with artificial intelligence, the apprehension which obviously is there. And so you've obviously spoken about singularity also, singularity being a very distant concept. तो उसमें तो वक्त लगेगा अभी आने में एंड वहां तक पहुंचने में.
बहुत वक्त नहीं लगेगा, बहुत वक्त नहीं लगेगा. जो लोग ये सोचते हैं कि हम लोग सिंगुलैरिटी से अभी बहुत दूर हैं, वो मेरे राय में गलत सोच रहे हैं, क्योंकि इतनी तेजी से ये डेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं और ऑलरेडी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस अपना काम अपने आप को बूटस्ट्रैप करके अपनी इंटेलिजेंस को इम्प्रूव करने की कैपेसिटी हो गई है. तो इसलिए वो सिंगुलैरिटी पहुंचने में हम लोगों को बहुत टाइम नहीं लगेगा. आर्टिफिशियल सुपर इंटेलिजेंस मेरी राय में इसी डेकेड में आ जाएगी.
So it's actually quite fantastic. If again neurological positivist, so that means I understand and appreciate this fact. But
एक और पॉइंट है.
Abhishek, we will come to that. So just one point with respect to this. There is in the chat box also someone has shared with respect to this that so today if we speak about where artificial intelligence is today at. So it was very nice, but I was also very reluctant in reading out your introduction which ChatGPT had prepared. Though I could see that it was very notional, there were no facts in it, so it was fine. But sir, there was recently this article which was published by about some advocate who had used ChatGPT to do some research regarding case law, and it came up with some fictitious case laws. So also I'll just very humbly put my 2 cents into it also. For one of these classes, one of the seniors had asked me to do a bit of research. I thought better to put it to ChatGPT. It gave me 10 citations, sir. I checked, all 10 were wrong. All 10 were factually incorrect.
हाँ, तो अभी ये ChatGPT may not be a very great program, especially relating to law, etc. It depends. There are some specialized programs which have been developed for law. You have to go to those programs. ChatGPT is not designed for law. ChatGPT is a general language model, as they say, for just some general information and literature and so on. So it's not designed to be a specialized program for law. There are specialized programs for law which are available. There are also specialized programs for doctors which are available. We have to go to those. And then it will have to be fed in all the Indian case law, you see. The thing is, you have to feed in all the Indian case law. You have to first digitize it. Whatever is digitized can be fed in easily. Whatever is not digitized will have to be digitized in order to feed into it. Then you have to feed in all the acts and the legislation and so on, all the amendments, etc., etc. And then it will give you an output which is all right. In the US, they have done it for some specialized legal programs. I'm sure that it can be done in India also, and it will be done shortly.
Thank you, sir. So if I may put across this question to you, sir, how, if you can just share with us, how has ChatGPT been able to assist you in any incident or any
I have not used ChatGPT.
Or maybe, sir, not necessarily
No, I have
ChatGPT,
not used AI
artificial intelligence.
programs myself. I have not used them. But I've been tracking the development because as a person, as a philosopher, and as a person who has been interested in science fiction, I'm quite interested in seeing where it is going, how far we have come, and when are we likely to reach that singularity where AI becomes so far superior to humans so as to be in a position to take over. So I think we are approaching that singularity very, very fast. It will probably happen, and when it happens, we won't even know that it has happened. It will happen in a split second, like zip. Suddenly, everything will change. So let's see. My own prediction is that it will happen in this decade.
So that's really fantastic, sir, how positive you are about artificial intelligence. It's really a breath of fresh air. So just one final thing, if I may be permitted to ask you, sir, considering that the paucity of time. So what would be your advice for young lawyers using artificial intelligence today?
Yeah, I think you have to be aware as to how good that artificial intelligence tool is. And you have to first find out how good it is. The ChatGPT, as you said, may not be the right tool for lawyers. The right tool may be some other specialized program. And for that, it will have to be fed in all the Indian case law and so on. So therefore, and this ChatGPT, you see, relies upon a sort of large bank of supercomputers, etc., which have been used to feed in a whole lot of information. And that information, ChatGPT 4 was fed in only up till 2021 or something. It's somewhat dated. Today, there are people, there is, for example, a company called Stable Diffusion and a man called Ahmad Mushtaq. You should see watch his videos. I mean, his company is doing remarkable work. They have been able to develop programs which do the same thing that ChatGPT does on your phone, essentially. You don't need those large banks, or you don't need to be connected to the internet. You don't need those large bank of computers, etc. And it's able to do pretty much what ChatGPT is able to do with that huge amount of information stored in it and so on. So we have to first find out which is the right tool, AI tool, which we can use, and then use them.
So again, with all expectations from the future and from the domain of artificial intelligence, it's really wonderful to know that such intellectual beings as yourself have such keen interest and eye on this very unique topic. And so we hope that we'll be able to see and share this development with you as time comes, and keep learning from you in such similar manner on various other topics of law also, sir. So very humbly, I want to extend gratitude to you on behalf of all of our participants. So thank you so much for taking time out today.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Sir, my last question, if possible, short question.
Ji, Hiralji, please. If so,
Can
will
we
permit.
go? Can we go AI and human intelligence at the same time?
When we go,
Can
yeah.
So he
yeah.
means they can both coexist together.
Yes, of course, they can both coexist together. Artificial intelligence will just be very much superior, but humans will be left to do what they are doing, except they won't be able to harm others, etc. They will not be allowed to harm others. Otherwise, there's no reason why humans can't coexist.
Means connecting question, sir. That can
Hiralji, this is last, please.
last. Can AI means this artificial intelligence can assess the human judgment whether it is correct or not,
Yes,
and it is
course.
appealable.
of course, they can assess human judgment. Once they take over, they will. And if they feel that the human judgment or the human actions are not right and they are harming others, then they will tell the humans not to do that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So again, sir, but I understand that there is still a lot, much more that may be spoken about this topic itself.
Yes, of course.
So we'll look forward to other articles to view also in this similar domain, hopefully in the near future. And I'm sure that everyone will be equally as excited as I am to be reading them and have an opportunity to read them.
Yes,
Okay,
and
all the best to everybody.
and I hope Bhushan sir will continue to active in politics also.
So that is different domain. This is educational. So we pray
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they continue to enlighten us educationally. That is more important than everything else will probably shape up.
No,
Thank you.
there should be power. There should be power.
Thank you, Hiralaji.
Welcome. Okay, thank you.
Everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you to all our respected participants. Just one thing before we go, one parting word, that please, I request, I hope that everyone understands that since this is free, absolutely free, and you know that it is free because you are here, you're seeing this, that please kindly like, share, subscribe, whatever YouTube videos you see, please share them. And for the group also, just share the invitation with people. There are a lot of people who want to join such initiatives. Apart from that, obviously, there are a lot of other people who are also doing such good work. I really appreciate all young advocates who are doing such similar work. But my only thought is that it's very rarely that such senior advocates who have given such considerable amount of their time and their life to the profession, that they are able to take time out. And I request that the learning which may come from there, that is very valuable. It's also available in various other seminars and conferences, but most of them are paid. And I know that because I also find it very difficult, and I've come from that place that I find it very difficult, and I know how difficult it is for young advocates specifically to shell out that kind of money when you have to save for yourself, for your family, and for so many other things. So I request you to kindly please take the initiative to share the word that we are trying to do something of this sort, that we're actually trying to get the essence of whatever legal knowledge is there to be distributed by such seniors, and so many seniors, I'll tell you, all people who have so much knowledge that they're willing to share, but it is our duty to ensure that it actually disseminates on the ground to the people. So deeply grateful to everyone who has participated, all the esteemed guests, all advocates, respected members of bar bench, who have been able to join, all people who are joining us and watching this video on YouTube also. I request you to kindly just keep this thought in their mind and take it forward. With your kind permission and with hopes that we will be able to do something constructive in this regard in the future as well, I take your leave, and I am deeply grateful to you. I extend my gratitude to you for taking till now, and look forward to see you soon in one other class soon.